Hello everyone! I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing and commenting. I really appreciate the support. And in this one, I wanted to speak to you a little bit about completing huge projects. Huge, I mean huge projects. A lot of life, I believe, can be divided into big projects. I think life is like a huge project itself, but a lot of things that we do in life can be kind of looked at as a project. And I'm not a project manager. I've never worked as a project manager. I don't know anything about it, but I always think of it, I think of the things I do as projects, right? So if I'm writing a book, it's a project that I'm working on. If I am building a website, it's a project that I'm working on. And if I'm fixing my videos and all that stuff, that's another project. There are small projects, there are big projects, all of them are projects, right? And I like kind of dividing life up into projects like that because it really helps me with regards to minifying tasks. So kind of looking at the project and being like, all right, cool, so what are the tasks related to these projects? And then what do I need to do in order to get the project done over time, right? Because what happens is that when we, for example, look at writing a book, it might be a 100,000 word novel that you're thinking about writing. 100,000 words. I mean, think about that. That's a lot of words to put on paper. How long will that take you? I have no idea. Maybe 3 years, maybe 4 years, who knows, right? But if you kind of think of it as a project and then you kind of delineate tasks, basically how I do it is I look at my task for writing a novel as writing a certain number of words every single day, right? And my usual number or thing is 1,000. I write 1,000 words every single day, and over 100 days, I'm able to finish a 100,000 word novel. Pretty simple, very, very easy to do. And for me, writing 1,000 words nowadays is pretty simple. It takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to write 1,000 words, especially for a novel that I'm really excited about, which is most of them really. So it's basically half an hour to 45 minutes of work every single day, writing 1,000 words, and over 3.5 months, or I would say 4 months, let's round it off. Maybe I'll miss a few days here or there, but I don't usually because that's the rule. I don't miss days of writing. But just to kind of put it into real world perspective, 100 days, maybe around 4 months, right? And so you know exactly how long it's going to take you to do this huge project. All of a sudden, this huge project that seemed like it would take 3 or 4 years, you have no idea how long. How should we even start? What do you do? What's the first thing to do? What's the second thing? It just seems absolutely unsurmountable. Like it feels too big to tackle. And then so you're like, all right, I'm just gonna give up. I'm not even gonna bother with it because I don't even know where to begin, right? Sometimes it's like that for me when I'm thinking about cleaning my house or my apartment. I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do. And I'll just clean my table a little bit and then I'll be done with that. I am not good at household chores, I can tell you that much. So in general, as I said, breaking down projects into little itty-bitty pieces that you can bite off really easily is usually the way I get all of the different things I do get done. That's how I get all the things I do done, right? So I finish all the tasks I do in that manner. And as I said, I'm working on a huge project right now. One of the biggest ones I've worked on ever is building a website and some funnels and a course and things like that. So it has a lot of moving pieces. And at first when I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know how long it's going to take. Maybe a whole year. I don't even know if I have time for it. Can I even manage this? And I started feeling a little bit of a panic. Right? And I was like, all right, calm down and relax, take a deep breath. And I did. And then I broke it down into bite-sized pieces. And so I was like, all right, what's the first thing I want to do on this? So I was like, all right, let me write down what the course outline is going to be. And then I'm going to write down all of the transcript for the course. And then I'm going to look into what website to build. And then I'm going to look into logos, who's going to do my logos. And then so then I kind of delineated it. I wrote down all the different steps I could imagine that it would take to build this thing. And then I was like, all right, great. I have a bit of an outline of a project that I want to do. Now let's think about how much work I want to put into it every single day. And as you might imagine, I have a lot of different moving pieces, not just this project. And this is a new thing I'm adding into the mix. So I'm like, oh, okay, where is this going to fit? And so I decided, okay, I'm going to do 25 minutes of concentrated, focused work on it every single day, and that's it. 25 minutes every day. I put on a timer. They're called Pomodoros, so you kind of just put on a timer. You don't do anything else. You don't check your mail at the same time, or you don't pick up the phone if it rings. Don't do anything else except work for 25 minutes focused on the item that you're working on, right? So usually what I would do is I'd pick a certain thing. Oh, I'm working on this aspect of the website. Okay, I'm going to pick that, start the timer, work on it until the 25 minutes is done. 25 minutes done, boom, that's it. I'm done for the day. Great, awesome. I moved this piece forward a bit today. Again, the next day, what am I working on? Okay, let me switch on the timer, do it for 25 minutes. All right, great. Once the 25 minutes is done, I moved the piece forward a bit, right? And so over time, with these huge projects, and that's how I think what project managers are basically doing, is that they're kind of figuring out all the different moving pieces and then putting them together and figuring out who should do what, and little by little moving them forward. And so I do notice the effect of, you're like 25 minutes of work, that doesn't seem like a lot. And for me as well, in my heart, I would imagine, oh my God, but this is a huge project. How will I ever get it done if I only do 25 minutes of work every day? But I do notice a lot of times what happens is that, you switch off the 25-minute timer, or it switches off on its own, but I keep on working because I'm into it and I'm really engrossed in the work, and I keep on doing it. Usually it ends up being 45 minutes, an hour, maybe longer. Sometimes less, sometimes more. It doesn't really matter. But as long as you do a little bit of work on the project every single day, I notice that it does move very fast, right? And I do notice for myself, and I think human beings in general, we have a tendency to underestimate the amount of work we can do in a certain period of time, and overestimate the amount of time it'll take to do the work. So I always think, oh my God, this project is going to take me 3 years. Or okay, not 3 years, but I was imagining it would take me 6 months. And then I started doing it, I started working on it, and it ended up being only about a month and a half, really, from the time I started to the time I'm going to finish it. I think a month and a half, 2 months max. And so I always overestimate. So I'm always in my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, should I even bother if it's going to take 3 years to finish this? Well, in reality, it always takes a much shorter amount of time. And I always end up thinking, oh, I'm only going to be able to do this one little piece today. And when I actually start doing the work, it ends up being a lot more pieces done, checked off. Because again, I underestimate the amount of time each task is going to take. I underestimate the amount of work I can do in the time that it takes, right? So we are not good at estimating things, is basically what I'm saying, unless you're a project manager and you've been doing this for years. Even then, I'm sure you miscalculate, and that's why projects always run over budget and over time, right? That's how it is. You always have to budget for more time, and you always have to budget for more money, because it's just the way it is, right? And so we're not good at estimating things. Therefore, the best thing to do is to figure out, okay, what are the different tasks you need to do with the project or with the item, and then do a little bit of it, a little bit of work on it every single day. That's literally how I get over my procrastination, how I get over my perfectionism, how I get over myself and do all the different things that I do, and I put all of the stuff that I put into the world right now. That's the only way I do it, because literally if I stood there and looked at the amount of work that is required to do some of these things, I would never get anything done, because I would be so afraid and be so paralyzed with fear and indecision. And just looking at the task, I'll be like, oh my God, that's just too much for me to handle. I can't do it. I'm just going to run away. Which is what a lot of us do, right? We're like, no, we get overwhelmed, and then we don't do anything at all, right? A lot of procrastination memes are all about that. People sitting and thinking, oh my God, I have so much to do. And then they do nothing at all in order to check off those boxes, because they're just overwhelmed. They're paralyzed, right? To get over this paralysis, to get over this overwhelm, what I do, as I said, is break it down and just do a little bit every single day, just a tiny little bit every single day. And again, it doesn't have to be 25 minutes. Of course, if you have less time, if you only have 5 minutes to work on your thing, then do 5 minutes. If you only have 2 minutes, do 2 minutes, right? But usually we can carve out 25 minutes out of our day, or 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. It's very easy to carve out 10 to 15 minutes of working time every single day. And that's what a lot of writers who had full-time jobs and who had families to take care of and all that stuff, that's what they would do. They would get up 15 minutes earlier than everyone else, or half an hour earlier than everyone else in the house, and they would write for those 15, 30 minutes. And that's it. That's the only writing they would get done all day long because they just didn't have time. They were busy with housework. They were busy with full-time jobs. They were busy with other things, right? And so every day, that's all the writing they would do. But eventually, over time, 15 to 30 minutes of writing every single day translates to hundreds of thousands of words over time. So that's how you build a big project, is you start with the small chunks. Chunking, batching, do all that small thing little by little, and eventually you get to the end line, right? So I hope this helps. I hope that if you're suffering from procrastination or perfectionism or overwhelm or indecision or paralysis, all of that, this is a really good way to get over it. This is how I get over it every single day. If you have questions about this, let me know. I will obviously answer them in either video format or by comment. And if you have questions about anything else, let me know as well. And again, thank you so much for being on my channel. I really appreciate your support, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.